See, I got a message too. Some real consent right here.
Real executive.
Real consent out there. All right. It's a Dollars and Cents series, episode number 3. This episode is brought to you by the Auto Shark. Have you ever left the dealership feeling like you were ripped off or about to get ripped off? Are you planning on purchasing a vehicle, but the thought of the high pressure salesman stresses you out? Never again with the Auto Shark. We work for you and to ensure whatever vehicle you choose is a great choice and is brought to you at the lowest price. Savings negotiated on behalf of our clients have been up to $12,000 off the advertised price. Leasing, financing, no problem. Let our decade of industry experience handle those negotiations for you. Link is below for Auto Shark. So I'm here for the Dollars and Cents series podcast with my guy, Big Apple Adnan. What's good, baby?
Yo, good. I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling, man. You already know it's late out here. It's a little bit tired, but I had to come out and say what's up to my brother, man. How you doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I got the little guys asleep before I put on this episode. I said, yo, your uncle's gonna see you soon, but you ain't staying up today to see you. You know?
No. Nah, yeah, soon come, bro. You a father. You know the right time and place, Exactly. No, I appreciate it, man.
I thought it was gonna be a podcast of 5, man.
Thanks. Yeah, no, those kids gotta have their bedtimes, bro. They're growing, all kinds of stuff. No, we're good over here in the city. It's raining today. It's starting to get a little bit cold, but
it's kind of gloomy today, bro.
You know what's crazy? You know how you have like those memories on like social media?
On Facebook, you talking about, right?
Facebook, Snapchat
kind of thing. Yeah.
Snap, yeah.
So like I was looking through my Snapchat Wednesday, and it was like, yo, this time last year, it was snowing in Winnipeg.
It was snowing bad.
Bro, I believe it. 100% I believe that shit. Bro, every November 1st, after Halloween, it'd be snowing. Every year, bro. I'm telling you.
Every year, bro.
We gotta break this. Honestly, for Winnipeg, it's been pretty nice so far. Like, we gotta break. We definitely gotta break this year.
I believe it, bro.
We'll see how winter treats us. Oh, yeah.
There's always ebbs and flows with the Winnipeg weather. But trust me, when that winter hits, that December, January is different. It's different. I'm not looking forward to that shit, bro. That's kind of why I haven't been back yet, bro. But I know everyone's at home at that time, though. Like, I know most people come back for the holidays and shit.
Yeah.
So in terms of like seeing everybody, it probably makes the most sense to come back at that time. Yeah. But my body won't handle it, bro. Like, you won't see me outside.
You're gonna have to celebrate Christmas in June, July, man.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Yo, you've been gone for a while though, right? You've been gone. You haven't experienced a Winnipeg winter in a minute, dog.
I haven't, bro, and I'm not trying to, bro. Don't even try to get me to come back in the wintertime, bro. Listen, walking backwards, doing all that shit, triple layers, the frost bite or whatever, like I don't miss that shit, bro. The -50, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a tough time, bro, trying to sneak on the bus, all that shit. Like, it was tough days, bro.
The worst thing is you don't get used to it. That's the worst part.
But it's the same thing on the opposite end too. Like with the heat in Phoenix, it was the same thing, right? Like, it get hot from like April till like September, bro, and it'll just be crazy hot, and you don't get used to that either. You know what I'm saying? It's like being back in Africa. Like, y'all niggas know, like it was just like that. So yeah, it was definitely a lot. But
damn, bro. So yo, that's crazy because like you were in Phoenix for a minute, bro. So yo, I'm trying to get my head around this, bro. And I think it's valuable if you share your experience, man. So I want to know how like that whole journey has been, from you being in Winnipeg, staying out in Phoenix to where you're at right now.
Damn, okay. So you want me to start from where? From just like from Winnipeg, like just living and doing all that, and then move up till now?
Yeah, man. Just tell me your journey and your experiences going through all that, man. Like that's a big chunk of your life, dog.
It really is, bro. Okay, we can talk about the transition from Winnipeg to AZ, and then from where I'm at now, and then we can go back if need be. But basically, bro, let's see. This was 2014, right? So my dad, he's a mathematics professor. My dad was like, "Yo, I got this job opportunity." Now I just started at U of M. I was doing my U1. I think that's what it was called. And so I just started, it was first semester, doing okay. You know, I was enjoying school, but to me, it felt like high school because all of the homies that were at FRC and that were all in other schools more or less came to U of M. I know you was at U of W, and I had a few other friends go to U of W, but for the most part, my close friend group all at U of M.
Yeah.
And so to me, it just felt like high school, but with bigger classrooms and more people and things like that.
And you ain't got your teacher hounding your ass anymore, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You don't really got the high school teachers asking for assignments and all that because the university professors don't really care like that. So yeah, I was navigating through that and just getting acclimated to that lifestyle. And then my dad came to me one day in the fall, I think, and was like, "Hey, like I got this job offer at a university in the United States. What do you think about it?" And I asked him, I said, "Well, that's kind of strange. Well, what do you think?" He's like, "Well, they're gonna pay me X amount of money and it's gonna be an elevated title, da da da. I'm really considering it. But I need to know if you would be comfortable going to school there." And I said, "Well, I'm just starting at U of M and I don't know if I'm comfortable leaving my friends and leaving what I'm building out here because I haven't moved since we were little kids, basically."
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought about it, looked the school up. It was Arizona State. Looked at some of the programs that they had, particularly in their business school, and I said, "Wow, actually, this is pretty impressive. This is a lot different from what we have at U of M. Let me see if this is something that I can really pursue and go into." And so I researched the school a bit more, looked up some testimonials from former students, looked up notable alumni, found out that James Harden went to that school, and I said, I mean,
yeah, that's
Harden, come on, bro, like, that's kind of tough.
Dope.
That's tough. I said, "Oh, that's tough." And then the biggest thing for me was thinking about the opportunity, right? I thought like, if let's say this wasn't me, this was a close friend of mine or a brother of mine that got this opportunity, would they reject it because they didn't want to go away from home, or would they take the challenge? Because I've seen close friends of mine go out of state or go out of the province for school, right? To either hoop or just to just maximize their efforts. And so with that decision, I said, okay, I think I'm going to do it. So I told my dad, "Hey, it's a go. I'm with it. I'll apply. If I get in, cool. If I don't get in, then it is what it is." And I was pretty confident I would get in just because you have to be, right? You can't go in thinking you're not gonna make it. So I applied. Yeah, I applied. I think I didn't take any tests since I was already admitted into university. So I was lucky I didn't have to take the SAT.
Oh, right.
But I did have to write like an essay, I think, for the business school as to why I wanted to transfer. And so I did that, and I ended up getting in January. And so at that point, I had to declare whether I was going to accept the offer or not. And just thought about it, prayed about it, and then eventually decided, yeah, like I'm gonna make the move. And the funny thing is that I didn't tell anybody. Like I didn't tell none of the homies. I didn't tell really nobody for like 4 or 5 months, bro. Like I didn't start telling people until like June. Yeah, just because my parents were in the process of moving as well, and my sisters also were in high school and in elementary school. So the move was something that was going to be a big change, and we didn't want to just overwhelm everyone too soon. So we felt that it made more sense to just wait until the semester was over and all of that. So I ended up telling the homies in like April, May, and by then I was really looking forward to it. In May, I actually went over to Phoenix to check out the campus and to just do a tour and meet some of the advisors and just get more set up for school. And that trip was awesome overall. I loved it. I said, yeah, this is really something special and something that not a lot of people get to do, especially coming from where we're from. Winnipeg is such a small city sometimes, and we forget that the opportunities that come to us outside of Winnipeg are very far fleeting. So when we do have those opportunities, we got to maximize them and do the best we can with them. And so very lucky, man. Like my parents definitely facilitated a lot of that stuff and pushed me to eventually make that move. And we ended up moving in, what was it, August of that year, so August of 2014, and just was a complete 180 as far as the aesthetics, the vibe, living in the West Coast, living in the US. It was a lot. It was very overwhelming at first, being a brand new kid in a new school, in a new city, not knowing a single person, and walking around in the biggest campus in the United States was a lot, bro. And like I was just like, weird, like goofy Canadian kid that hoop. And like the first couple of days there, I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna do what I know best, right? I'm gonna go hoop at the rec center. Yeah. And so I'll go hoop, but let me tell y'all, like it was so packed, like especially in the first couple of weeks, just like with any university or school. Like Kuet, I don't know if you hooped at the UW Rec Center, but like when you go to those places, particularly in the first couple of weeks, everybody's there because ain't nobody got shit to do, right? It's the first week, it's syllabus week, so people are gonna go hoop. And so I'll pull up and I'll be by myself for the most part, and I'll try to run. And the very Canadian thing was like, yo, just call next, and then you got it, and then people will shoot for to be on your team.
Yeah.
I don't run in the US, bro. In the US, like you need to have a 5. If you don't got a 5, you're not playing. You're not getting on, bro. Like you just think that, like you don't got a squad, you're not playing. Someone else with the squad will come and play ahead of you.
Yeah.
And so I was just getting into these really riff-raff runs, playing with people I didn't know or like, and sometimes I played with people that weren't nice. And so I wasn't having a great time, but overall, like I started to slowly just meet people again, reoccurring, and start to link up with them. And luckily, I had a few mutual friends as well that I connected with before I got to Phoenix full time that I met during my tour. And so slowly I was able to build a little bit of a network that I could hoop with and do some of the more fun extracurricular things. But yeah, bro, that first year in AZ was definitely interesting. I enjoyed it a lot. That was probably the most I ever studied just because I was by myself a lot. You know what I'm saying? I studied, I just learned. I ended up pursuing a degree in sport business with a minor in applied business analytics. And so at first, my idea was, okay, let me get this sports business degree. I'm going to go be a GM and just run an NBA franchise. That was like my goal. I felt like since that's what I saw on TV, made sense to me. I was going to go and do it. But then I quickly realized, like after like 2-3 months, that goal was very, very, very difficult to obtain because of the amount of connections and the amount of or the lack of options, I should say, as far as getting into those doors of an NBA franchise right away, particularly coming out of school. Because who's going to trust a 21-year-old kid to run an NBA franchise? Nobody, right? And so it was very difficult. So I said to myself, okay, this was around my sophomore year. Okay, what is a career path that still revolves in sports and entertainment, but then also caters to things that are prevalent and provides me with opportunities to enter into this market because it's very lucrative, right? There's a lot of money in sports. There's a lot of affinity. It's one of the few things that connects people together. And so I started looking up in various sectors of the industry and found that one was enticing to me, which was sponsorship. And the reason why sponsorship was interesting to me was because of its connectivity between brand and business, or brand and property, and then how it also parlays into fandom as well. So when you are watching a TV game and you see ads across the screen, or you see ads on the court, or you see television commercials or social media posts, they're all connected, right? They're all intertwined in a way that brings us a buzz or impressions or some sort of stimulus to consumer base. And so I felt like sponsorship was a good route for me. And then from there, I said, okay, how can I break in? I could either attempt to try selling sponsorship, or I could try to analyze sponsorship, or try to activate on sponsorship, because those are the 3 major verticals within the space. And so for me, I was like, and I actually had done a few internships at the time with a few notable companies, and felt like during that time that analytics was my place to play, and research was my place. And so I graduated in 2017, and about a month after graduating, I was able to get a job with the Suns in their partnerships team as a I don't even know what my role was back then. I would just say as a partnership coordinator. And so basically I would just be a jack of all trades. I'd be assisting our strategy department within the partnerships group with analyzing partnerships, with helping with research initiatives, building out our sales proposals, managing our departmental expenses along with expenses to activate partnerships. So I was really just immersed in that space, learning as I went and trying to figure out how to be an adult. And then at that point, I ended up moving out of my parents' house, rented an apartment, moved in with a buddy of mine that I knew from school as well. And really enjoyed that year of just being fully on my own. Had a lot of great experiences, a lot of not so great experiences too, but more or less it was really nice. And then after that year, when my apartment lease expired, I was still at the Suns, and just felt like, okay, like I don't know if I want to rent anymore. Let me see what property is about. Let me see what ownership is about. Because at that point in my life, I was really just talking to a lot of people that were more successful than me and people within my industry and outside of my industry as well, and as far as how to grow and elevate and build. And I started talking to them like, what is next, right? Once you start getting salary and once you start building on your life, you know, what is next? And then some great advice I got not only from my dad but from others was to invest in property, to get involved in commerce, to get involved in the market, all of these just different paths that you can then build residual income in. And so I ended up talking to my dad about it in depth and asked him what the process was like potentially owning a house. And he had said, well, you need at least X amount down in order to get a loan. And then from there, you need to get approved. And then from there, you need to look at houses to buy, and you need to find a realtor and work with him and do all these different things. And so that was definitely a process. It was a process and a half, you know, but nonetheless, thankfully, I was able to find a realtor that worked well with us, and who was also just able to work with my dad a lot on that process, and was thankfully able to find a spot relatively close to downtown, because that's where the Suns Arena was, and wanted to make sure I wasn't too far away. So in 2019, I was able to secure a spot, and then lived there for about 2 years or so, and just continued working at the Suns and just continued building experience. And when 2020 came with COVID, I really just saw a lot as far as how it devastated industries and businesses and even our own workforce, right? I'd seen friends get furloughed. I'd seen some employees get promotions, and that just taught me a lot of lessons as far as not necessarily depending on a particular institution to always cover for you, but to be the master of your own destiny, if you will. And so I told myself, okay, if there's an opportunity that ever comes across my way, or if there's ever a period in my life where I feel that I need to take that next step, I can't be afraid to do so because of what others may think, or what family may think as well. Like I need to be cognizant of that. And so 2020 came, worked hard, was fortunate enough not to have been one of those that were furloughed by the team, and then just kept it pushing. And then 2021 came, and I just I guess I felt like that time of reflection was upon me, and I felt like, okay, I've been in Arizona for now close to 7 years. I've learned a lot. Is it for me to continue staying here at this position, or is there something out there that's new or different for me? And there was a lot of personal things that were going on with me in my life at that point too, and I just felt like some sort of change or some sort of difference in outlook was really needed. And so I started just thinking of how I can go about doing that, how I can go about reinventing myself in a way that's positive and beneficial and not harmful. Because a lot of people, they fall into the darker path of abuse and neglect and just harming themselves when they don't feel like they're at a strong place. And I didn't want to fall victim to that. And so I told myself, okay, there's ways that I can positively benefit myself with things like reading, meditation, prayer, talking to my friends and family more, taking time for myself, and then also just career-wise as well, just keeping balance and keeping things in perspective. And so once April came, I felt like I was at a good place to potentially start looking for new opportunities outside of my current position, and was fortunate enough to find a really, really great opportunity for me with Octagon, which is a sports marketing agency that's also tied with their talent representation platform as well. So they represent athletes as well as help clients or help brands with their marketing initiatives, digital initiatives, social initiatives, and other areas of business strategy. And so I was able to find a role with them in May, and then joined the team. And then about a month after that, moved to New York City, where they have offices in. And they're a conglomerate business, meaning that they have companies all across the world. But obviously, I wanted to stay in the U.S., and their headquarters are located in Stamford, Connecticut. And so I wanted to be at a place where I wasn't too far away from the headquarters, since that was technically where my particular team or base my team or group was based in. And so I felt like it was a good time to make the move to New York City, since COVID was starting to die down a little bit. And I luckily had a group of friends out here that were acclimated to the area and also living and working out of here as well. And so I was able to find a place with them, and everything worked out really well. And so I was able to move in June of this year. And I've been here for about 4 or 5 months and have just really enjoyed the experience. And it's a different city, man. Like it's really different. There's definitely ups and downs. There's definitely times where I miss Arizona. There's definitely times where I miss Winnipeg. But nonetheless, it's all been a really wonderful experience and a lot of growing pains. And I'm sure the two of you guys, like we're all the same age, so I'm sure you guys all had similar experiences I have. It's just we're just in different areas, I would say. But nonetheless, it's still all relative and relevant. But yeah, that's basically it, bro. Like as far as just the journey, like there's a lot of like in betweens and stuff.
Of course.
Yeah. I'll write the book when I'm old and ready.
Yeah, no,
you could, honestly.
I'll tell you.
What I noticed about you though, man, is like I love that you see opportunities, you take it, and you're not afraid of leaving your comfort zone, whether that's your city or whether that's your area of work or whatever the case is. So that's something a lot of people have to kind of build up or work themselves up to do. That's nice, man. Seriously,
you, man.
It's admirable.
It's not easy, bro, and it's not just me, bro. Like lots of conversations with people, lots and lots of dialogue, lots and lots of just faith and reflection and just thinking about things in a way that helps, right? Like I didn't want to be in a position where I ever regretted something. Like I didn't want to be in a place where I said, oh, I should have taken that job in New York, or I should have applied for that school in Arizona, or I should have, just whatever, you know what I'm saying? So definitely a lot of times, but overall, bro, it's been wonderful and I can't complain at all.
Yeah, nah, bro, that's crazy because honest to God, that's book worthy material right there. You
Seriously.
know what I mean?
Hot dog.
That's book worthy material.
Man, you're a book, bro. You're a fada. Come on, bro. Come on, you're a young king. You young king with young princes, bro. That's book worthy for real.
Yeah, I got two of them in the next room. They sleeping right now, so
yeah, don't do me like that, man.
Yeah. Nah, but man, like one of the things that just really hit home for me was that reflection piece that you just talked about, bro. So man, like how valuable was that, that self-reflection throughout your journey and making those big decisions?
Oh, it was paramount, bro. Because I feel like if you don't take time to think about things, you often end up in areas of confusion or misalignment, right? So like whenever rash decisions are made or whenever you react to something that's maybe not favorable to you or you deem it as not favorable, it can often lead to repercussions that were worse than the primary action that you reacted to, right? And so I always told myself when I was young is that no matter good and bad, always take time to think things through. And I probably learned a lot of that through basketball, bro, like through playing, competing, training, just all of those intricacies of the game that are the game within the game. And so a lot of those lessons I just took and applied to my real life. And I think that's why I was able to be relatively successful with this, is just because I already had those lessons. I can always reflect back to, I remember when this situation happened in hoop, or I remember when this situation happened in school, or this situation happened with a friend. And I can try to tie back how I reacted to it and if it was the right reaction or the wrong one. And then just having dialogue like this, right? Like talking to people that you respect and value and have been through similar experiences, but I've also been through different experiences, really, really helps with that decision-making process. So luckily I've had that really strong core group of friends and family that have helped me out and gotten me through good times and not so good times. But yeah, bro, reflection is key, it's paramount. You gotta do it, but you try not to overthink, because I fall victim to that too, where I be in my head just like over analyzing, like, if I don't buy a crib this year, like what's the market rate? Like, am I gonna lose the interest rate? Is my down payment gonna be more? Like, will I be able to find a tenant? Like Trump is wallet. So yeah, you just want to be cognizant of that too.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a nice balance in between.
Yeah, that's that paralysis analysis, huh?
Facts,
that we're talking about. Yeah. It's like you don't want to go in uninformed and making bad decisions, but you also don't want to sit there and then, you'd be further ahead by doing something than sitting there thinking about it.
Facts.
At sometimes. So, yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, man.
Man, like you mentioned, Adnan, with your family coming here, you coming here to the country, because you weren't born in Winnipeg, right?
Correct.
So you immigrated here, just like myself too. And I think one of the big things about, being in Canada and also maybe even bigger in the US is just like, fitting in between the African Americans and just the Africans. So just like, kind of figuring out like that identity, like what was like, that experience as a first gen immigrant here, where you're literally coming with the clothes on your back. Just what's that experience like, and navigating your way throughout all this just to get to where you're at, man.
Yeah, bro, that's a really good question. I would say starting out as a kid, and I first foremost have to say, like, living in Winnipeg really, really was nice as far as growing up as a young kid and then growing through adolescence and then adulthood. Winnipeg is special because so many people immigrated in that specific region of time. So like when your parents quite had come, my parents had also come at the same time. And so many other people of the diaspora were coming in because of the influx of immigration. And so when I was a kid, I didn't understand the difference between African versus African American because all I saw were people that looked like me being from somewhere, right? So when I was, let's say, in elementary school, and there was another Black person or Black kid in the class, I would always ask them, where are you from? And they would say, oh, I'm from Nigeria, or I'm from Ghana, or I'm from Sierra Leone, or I'm from Sudan. Like there was always that sense. Or very seldom they say, oh, I'm just from here, like my family's from here. And I'm like, okay, like that's not any different to me. And then just growing up with the same group of kids, we all had that point of origin, right? Like there's a big Zambian community in Fort Richmond. There's a big Nigerian community now that's growing in Fort Richmond. And so there was always that sense of people that were from somewhere else, but lived in Winnipeg because of jobs. And that's how I always saw it. And it wasn't until I started getting older and started getting immersed into particularly the US culture, right? When it came to music, entertainment, and sports, is when I really started to see, oh, okay, actually there's a different group of Black people than just Africans, right? This group is more defined in hip hop culture, they're more defined in US American culture, and they've really signified themselves in that and immersed themselves in that. And a lot of them have ties to Caribbean culture due to this transatlantic slave trade and all those things. And so I started to learn about that slowly as I got older and older. And it wasn't really until I came to the States when I really, really started to see the differences between being an African versus being an African American. And I remember one of the first things it was actually during a hoop, like those first couple of months at ASU when I was hooping. And for some weird reason, the dudes there could tell that I wasn't from there. Like they just knew. And I wouldn't even say a word. I would just be posted up, waiting to hoop. And I would say the same words like, yo, let's run. Yo, what's the count? Da, da, da. I would use the same lingo, same words, more or less. But they just knew, oh, he's not from here. And it could have been due to my accent, because back then I was saying A lot, right? Like y'all might not realize it. Y'all be saying A like a month.
You don't even notice it.
Yeah.
You don't even notice it no more, bro. But
I know. I get caught whenever I'm talking with other people, and it's like, I might be talking to a friend from Montreal or Ottawa, and it'll be like, hey, it's like, yo, you say A a lot. I'm like, bro, how you talk?
It's present, bro. It's definitely present, bro. Like it's definitely, and I didn't think I did either, bro, when I first moved here, but I did, and people will call me out on it, like, yo, where you from, bro? And I'd be like, oh, I'm from Canada. And they're like, nah. Where you from? Like, where your family from? I'm like, Nigeria, bro. And they're like, yeah, you African, da, 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 da. And I'm like, y'all are African too. And they're like, nah, we ain't. Like, we from the Shire, we from LA, or we from Miami, or actually, no one knows black people from Miami, but they're just, stuff like that. And so that was always interesting to navigate and to try to understand of like, okay, how do I assimilate myself within a group of people that are defined differently than I? Because if, let's say, in the same analogy is used all the time, let's say I ever got pulled over, God forbid, by the police, and they see me, they're not going to ask whether I'm Nigerian or Congolese or Haitian. They're going to ask, yo, what's your race, or where you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just going to represent me as a Black man. And they're not going to care whether I'm African or non-African American or whatever. And so yeah, I just learned about that intricacy and learned about how to navigate better, and really just accepted and took pride in my heritage and where I'm from, because not everyone has that privilege of knowing where their ancestry ties relatively. And so I've always immersed myself with that. Like I have a flag of Nigeria in my room just to represent the heritage and the roots. And even though I'm not from I don't know if I would consider myself from Nigeria per se. That's just where my ancestry tied back to, more or less. But I understand that it's held a lot of weight and a lot of influence in my own family, right? Like my dad, I consider him Nigerian because he grew up there his entire life, moved out, made a name for himself, elevated himself and his family to now we're able to enjoy the fruits of his labor. And so, yeah, bro, I think it's definitely an interesting dynamic. It's definitely fun to talk about with friends that are different from you. And then also people that are similar, right? I'm sure we had very similar experiences growing up in Winnipeg where you just assumed that anyone that was Black was from somewhere else. And in the event that they weren't, it wasn't really a big deal. You know what I'm saying? But when you go to a different part of the world, it's very much like a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like even Africans in the US still struggle with that whole hero complex idea when they're at an age where they start talking to people that are living in Africa, for example, start reaching out to relatives out there, and they don't understand the same experiences or have the same level of experiences that those relatives or people in Africa do. And it's hard because you want to relate to these people because you represent yourself as them, but you haven't gone through the same experiences as them. And so you don't want to come off as being inauthentic and saying, oh, well, even though I didn't grow up in Canada or in Africa, and I didn't really visit all that much, and when I did visit, it was more of just like a passing by thing, and I wasn't really assimilating myself to the culture, to the environment, that might come off as inauthentic, right? And so you don't want to then do that and also feel like, okay, well, if I overcompensate and try to overgive, let's say financial, like give mad money to your relatives in Africa, and then they start coming to you and doing all these things. So there's a fine balance between managing the hero complex in you and then also trying to establish, okay, how do I pay my respects to my ancestry, my heritage, while also being authentic to who you are as well. Because I don't know about you, Kuet, like I consider myself as a Canadian that has ancestral ties to West Africa. You know what I'm saying? But I live in the United States. So I'm very much like a melting pot of different experiences and customs and traditions, which to me, I think it's part of the human experience. I don't think we're all monoliths in that way where we're all just like, I'm just this. We're a myriad of experiences that have cultivated us to where we are now. So yeah, basically to answer your question, bro, like growing up in Canada was really, really nice. I didn't personally go through a lot of hardship or a lot of like complexes with who I was as far as my identity. Like even kids that weren't African or weren't Black, like treated me relatively nice. And I didn't see anything of it because there's so much diversity, particularly in the South. And I hope you guys had a similar experience to that as well. But for as much as we may rag on Winnipeg for the weather and all that, it's brought us together and it's given us a lot of good experiences as well. But yeah, I don't know, bro. That's
yeah, no, that's facts though. That's facts. I mean, like you're right though. Like everyone's like, you're not just one thing. Like for example, whether you're from Nigeria or Sudan or Canada or America, you have all these experiences that you go through your life, and who knows, you might be living in Europe for a little bit. It's just like now you have some of that European culture, instilled in you, some of those values too. So you're definitely right. It's a mix of a whole bunch of things that kind of forms your own identity throughout all that, man. But yo, the Nigerian folks, I gotta give it to y'all, man. Yo, y'all been coming out with some hot music lately.
Come on,
shout out to Burna Boy.
Undeniable.
Yo, shout out
man. Listen, we're built different. We're built different, bro. It's not even just music. Come on, you gotta hit us with the sciences, with the education, infrastructure. Come on, bro. Law, like we out here in the dunya, bro.
Facts.
We out here, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, the music, the sports, all that, man, all of that. So, no, there's big things that are coming out of like back home and coming over here. I guess even just I think the talent and the stuff was always there. I think it's just being able to tap into the resources and actually bring it to the front pages and attention to it. So, it's a lot of things, man. It's a lot of things, but being the diaspora, and just kind of figuring out this is my people and creating that community. Do you think like there's opportunities for like, things to keep building out of that and connecting with people that are from back home or first gen immigrants just like us?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that there's a lot of opportunities to do that in a way that's authentic and not, like I said, part of this, like, we need to save Africa, because we may not have the answers. And I've actually had a lot of good constructive conversations with close friends about this topic in particular. And my main premise is I don't want to just set this like huge, grandiose mission on, let's say, going back to Nigeria and like living there for mad long and then just uprooting and getting super involved with it, because I may not have the answers, but I'm willing and able to assist someone that may have the answers or may provide some sort of outlook or perspective. And so I think the best way about doing that is by getting a strong base of what are the issues, right? What are the issues going on in those respective communities? So when I ask my relatives or my cousins that are involved in outside and experiencing some of the hardships that are going on over there, just asking questions on, okay, what are the main issues? What are the underlying issues? What are ways in which we can help abroad? What are ways that we can get more exposure and knowledge? What are ways that we can educate you guys on what may be viable solutions so that they can then put that on the forefront? And then amongst ourselves of people within the diaspora, just continuing to have discussions. I'm currently in a group or a WhatsApp group chat of like 150 Hausa Nigerians that are located in the United States, and a few of them have moved back to Nigeria and things like that. And so we periodically keep in touch and have conversations like this just to continue to stay affirmed and looped into dialogue and discussion, and also talking to the past generation too, like our parents and people that have immigrated out of those countries also provide a lot of perspective because they have that historical background, right? They understand, okay, this is what happened in the past. This is where we feel the future is going. These are ways in which you could potentially grow further dialogue, or you can expand on new dialogue. So I've definitely started to have more conversations, particularly with my parents, on what I can do to stay involved, what I can do to better immerse myself in my communities in Nigeria, so that I'm not just seen as like this inauthentic foreign figure that may loop in once every decade or so just to say hello. I definitely want to be more involved in that aspect, but at the same time know that it's not necessarily my battle to fight alone. It's a group effort. It's a continued effort through my friends and my community and people that are like-minded and in the same goals and aspirations. But it's all a process, bro. And I know like the first step is literally just going over there. So I do plan to go visit Nigeria sometime in the spring of next year and just seeing family again, because I haven't been back since like 2009, bro. Like it's been a long time, and with work and family stuff, and
you get busy.
Yeah, it just kept passing me by. I was planning to go in 2020, but I was actually planning to go to Winnipeg, then Nigeria in 2020.
Y'all go ahead. I'll be right back.
All right, for sure. Look at Kuet being a father, man. See, that's what I be saying, man. This guy needs to write a book one day, bro. Kuet, when you see this again, bro.
The kids in the background.
I didn't hear, but he got that sixth sense, bro. That's what being a father is all about, man. That's an experience that I hope one day I get to share. But for the meantime, I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. But regardless, bro, I definitely think it's important to do, and just to stay on top of it, bro. Like I feel like we do have a relative duty. We do have a really strong privilege of living in a place like North America, bro. Like not everyone gets that chance and that opportunity to go through what we went through and to experience what we did. So yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah, a lot of people have to fight even just to get over here, just to start, then get the opportunity, right? So it's nice, especially somebody being born here, man, and seeing where my roots are from. It's definitely appreciated, and when you can, you, as you said, try and help out and give back how you can. You can, man.
I agree.
Yeah. What age did your parents move here, man? Like, how long have they been living in North America for?
Yeah, so we moved. I think they moved in Canada in like 96, maybe.
Okay.
So I was born in the UK. I was born in London, and we lived there for about a year. Then we moved to Malaysia because my dad, he was doing PhD studies there at the time, or was just starting out his career there. And then, so yeah, we moved into Canada maybe like 97, 98.
You guys
So
from everywhere.
yeah, bro, it's
Crazy.
worldwide things, bro, worldwide things.
Wow.
But more or less, yeah, it's definitely been nice to just be able to say like I've been here, I've experienced this flavor of life, I've done all these things. So that's partly why I'm comfortable with moving places
I
so
was
much, is
gonna
because
say,
I've done that so much.
yeah.
But it is nice to have like that one station that you can say, yeah, this is the place that really cultivated me. Like I've just been going through memory lane a lot and just thinking about like all just the craziness that I've experienced, particularly in Winnipeg, that have gotten me to this point. Like leaving Winnipeg, bro, like when I was 18, I'm probably like not a 180. I think I'm still the same person, but I just feel I'm so much more
A lot of growing.
refined and have experienced so much. But I wouldn't have
Yeah.
been able to even experience what I've experienced in the US if I didn't have that base, you know, in Winnipeg, right? Going through some of those wild shenanigans, hooping against guys like Kuet, you know, trying to get one on him and stuff like that. Being able to get over losing by 50 against y'all in GGC, like you think I ain't getting over that too, by the way.
We'll have to run again. You can get one back up on me, man.
Nah, I'm washed now though.
Really
I'm washed now. I can't play now, bro. It's over for me. Once that final buzzer hit in the playoffs and provincials or whatever, like I was done. I said I'm done. So competitive. So you got one over me on that, bro. I'll just have to find something else, man.
Yo, Adnan. Bro. Okay, so James Harden went to ASU, bro. And I know alumni go back every now and then. Yo, did you bump into this man on campus or anything?
I swear I didn't. But I did see him. Like he did come to an alumni game or like an alumni rep game or whatever. And his jersey got hung up. So he was in the arena. And so I seen him then, like real close, because I was in the student section. But I did have friends that actually bumped into him at like a gas station when he would be training in the summertime and stuff like that. But I never got a chance to see him in person like that. But I did watch him hoop a lot. And my man is just, he's so diesel, bro. Like it's crazy how like athletic, and he's like borderline like overweight, but he's built like Kimbo Slice, bro. Like it's weird, but he can move. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. But yeah, I have seen. Have I bumped into any real celebrities like that? I met Lupe Fiasco.
Oh shit!
At work one time. Yeah, I met him. That was really crazy because
he's a dope guy.
Dope dude, bro. Like growing up, he was one person that I really looked up to, and I still do actually. Yeah, I met him and talked to him very briefly.
That's it.
But it was mostly just seeing people, and I'll tell you this, bro. Like working in the NBA, I saw a lot of NBA players, obviously, because I would go to games, see LeBron, see Kyrie, Russ, Anthony Davis, Kawhi, KD. Like you see those athletes in real life, and you're like, wow, these guys are really spectacular. But the one person, and you can probably guess who it is, the one person that I saw that I was just like, I can't believe this person's in front of me, was Kobe Bryant, bro. Like this was back in like 2015. So I just moved, and me and my dad went to LA to visit a longtime friend. And we got tickets to see the Lakers play against the Timberwolves. And I remember just sitting in like the nosebleeds, bro. Like I didn't know no better. I just got whatever was available. And I just remember seeing Kobe walk out of the tunnel, bro. I'm like, yo, that's Kobe Bryant, bro. Like, yo, 81 points. Like that's crazy, bro. Like, and yeah, he was older, so he wasn't the same, but still, like Kobe Bryant, bro. And like,
yeah, that's Kobe.
I kept thinking the entire time. I said, yo, none of like this wouldn't be possible in Winnipeg, bro. Like, we would not have a chance to do this. Like, Kobe's not coming to Winnipeg for no reason. Like, he's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to shit on Winnipeg at all. It's just there's just no team.
Is this a fact though? Is this the fact?
Yeah, there's no professional basketball like that. So like, he's not coming here. You know, so like it was a phenomenal experience, bro, just to see him play. And yeah, like that's why this poster right now is a poster of Kobe. So yeah, that moment always stood for me in a lot of different ways. But anyway, I'm going off track, man.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. That's crazy. No, I just had to ask because I'm like, yo, like, you know, that's a big ass campus.
It was fun.
You got alumni. You got a bunch of people that played. You know, D1 there that went to the NBA. So
yeah,
and I mean, obviously we're all hoop heads over here. So it was I thought it was relevant. You know, just like, bro, dog, you're one of the guys from the city that was in the NBA, bro.
Yeah, me and Todd McCullough, bro. Yo, put my name in the rafters, man. Just like bro, Basketball Manitoba Hall of Fame, man.
No, but man, I just don't think that you get enough credit for things that you've done, man. Being a part of an organization like that,
Huge.
and being a part of the Suns, and having your position there, because being in the research side and analyzing data and that kind of stuff. I mean, even just touch base, like for someone that's even watching, like what does a person that deals with data do? Like keep really simple terms.
Very simply, bro, we help whatever property that we're assigned to help make decisions. That's bottom line, right? So whenever, let's say, okay, so at the Suns, my main objective was to basically, and this was my second position. So I had two positions, but my second position was really to understand our partnership business and to find ways in which we could effectively maximize our sales process. So finding ways to either streamline how we engage in potential new business, how we engage in renewal business, and by we, I'm talking about the salespeople, because I wasn't the one selling partnership proposals. We had a dedicated team of sales guys who were doing it. And so myself and a few others would really be on the back end of our data warehouse and really look to see, okay, where can we find areas of opportunity to grow in revenue? And then where do we currently see areas of strength as well? And so we did a lot of reporting, right? That's a main function of data analytics and analysis is reporting. We want to understand where we're at any given moment so that we can then use those insights to then generate hypotheses and potential forecasting results. So that was the main thing, and just having that mindset of how can we help grow and stimulate and build was a key driver in us having success as a business intelligence group. But there was a lot of learning along the way, right? Like whenever you come to a new job or you start to gain a new experience, there's always growing pains. There's new systems that you have to learn, new personalities that you have to learn and build with as well. And just coming from like Winnipeg, coming from Canada, like I was obviously different as well. And being even like just a Black person in the space of business intelligence, that was also something that was relatively new as well. But the good thing was that the team or the organization as a whole were welcoming and warm to diversity and inclusion in that aspect. And they wanted to see people of color really get into positions like that. And so I took that as a good welcome. But more or less, bro, like when it comes to that area of the business, it's really, really important just to think about how can we help our businesses make decisions, whether that's pursuing a potential new business partner, whether that's saying yes to a current proposal that a business partner is looking to commit to, or whether it's saying no, right? There's been a few partnerships that our team has assisted in saying, you know what, it may not be the best to activate, or it may not be the best to move forward, and based on what the spend is, based on what our competitors are doing in terms of other teams, based on what the market is saying, it may not be the best type of partnership to engage in. And so our business decision makers then came up to that decision and decided not to move forward on it. So there's always ways in which you can affect how businesses are run through data and analysis and insight. But it's just about how you format it and how you present it in a way that's not super like, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. More so of, this is what we see. Yeah, providing objectivity, right? This is what we see. This is how it can help. But at the end of the day, we trust that you guys are the experts because you have the experience and or know-how to make things happen. That's what I like. I don't necessarily need to be the one making all the decisions all the time with anything. But I do want to be in the room and do want my voice to be heard when need be. So yeah, I feel like I picked a good path for me to actualize myself in. Overall, I think it's been an enjoyable experience.
Man, that's dope, bro. That's dope. There's just like, one of the things, even like in my profession, like with accounting, like you have to make the numbers make sense, and whether that's the data side, that's more of your end, but we're looking at financials. We're looking at, your budget to current year, prior year to budget, those things kind of like that. And just like corroborating variances and a whole bunch of other jargon, but it's like, okay, this is all useful information, but for someone that's just looking at it, it looks like a whole bunch of stuff. Well,
I don't like variances.
It could be valuable depending on how you format it, just like you said.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna see this guy soon, bro. Yo, and you gotta come back to the city, bro. We gotta get some runs going.
Bro, for sure. I'm training right now, bro. I'm getting in the gym. I'm working out, trying to get my body right. I gotta build up. I gotta get physically right. So I'm gonna be back there, bro, sometime next year, bro. Hopefully. I'm gonna be there, bro. I'm gonna be there.
Okay, yo,
even if I'm not nice, I'm still gonna talk shit, bro.
Yeah,
I'm shameless with you.
As expected, man. As expected.
Yeah.
Yo, Adnan, I got some rapid fire questions here for you, bro.
For sure.
So, yo, it's just gonna be a quick rapid fire, and it's just gonna be either this or that.
All right, for sure.
All right, you ready?
Yo.
Okay. MJ or LeBron?
That's crazy, bro. And what? Who? That's
MJ
crazy. Yeah,
MJ or LeBron?
MJ.
MJ?
All
right. Sushi or pizza?
Pizza, for sure.
All right. Phoenix or New York?
Damn, at what? Come on, bro. You can't just be at like to live or like.
When it was specified.
Bro, just one or the other, bro.
I'm only been 5 months. Damn. And my AZ niggas gonna hate me, yo. Sorry, New York.
What do you say? Do you say skip?
No, New York.
New York. All right.
I enjoy living here, man.
All right. Apple or Samsung?
Apple for sure.
Twitter or IG?
If this was me in 2013, I would have said Twitter for sure. But right now it's IG. IG got it for now. But actually, Twitter making a comeback on the low though. Low key, Twitter's coming back, bro. Twitter, you got that live action shit still. Like people are still active on it and all that. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get crazy with it, Twitter's still the place to go. But yeah, for right now.
All right. Last one. Tesla or Benz?
So I actually had a used Benz. I bought one off my cousin last year, and I love that thing, bro. Like I loved having a Benz. It was nice, smooth ride. But the adult in me is saying Tesla. But I don't want to say Tesla because I own a piece of their stock back in May, and I sold it because I needed the cash to move to New York. And you already know they drove the price up. Hertz came through. Like I'm hot, so I don't want to say Tesla, but my money is saying Tesla, so I gotta go with Tesla.
Damn.
I know I'm still hot, bro.
That one hurt. You know what that is right there, though? I read this thing, bro. I got some friends that are really in the market and stuff, but they said the stock market is just a money transfer location from the impatient to the patient.
He's rubbing salt in the wound right now.
That's crazy. For real. No, if I would have just held, I would have made nice money, but I would have made a couple stacks.
But you know what? That's an experience, right? So you can't change what happened, but it's something you take with you into the future, right? So it's
I'm not trying to hear that, bro. I respect the sentiment. It's very mature of you, bro. But for real, I'm just thinking about the lost keys right now.
Yeah. Chaymaine, do you know what happened with Tesla just recently?
Actually, somebody was just talking about it yesterday at work. I just know they went up a lot because some rental car company bought a bunch of their cars.
Yeah, exactly. So just shot their stock through the roof. I think the value of like the 100,000 vehicles that were like purchased was like 2 billion or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and their market cap I think is over 1 trillion now. So they're one of like 5 companies now that are over 1 trillion in market cap. So
wow,
they're up there, bro, and they're not going away.
Yeah, so they're doing a lot of stuff, man. But I think that's the way that like things are going, right? Just with the climate that we're in right now, renewable energy and electric vehicles, like
on top of that too, I think it takes away a lot of liability issues. It's like, wow, Yeah, a Tesla could drive itself, less accidents maybe, so less insurance payouts for them, stuff like that.
You're
So,
right.
Hopefully, the
Yeah.
technology
Yeah,
doesn't go
hopefully.
crazy. There have been instances of things going not so well for passengers, but for the most
Oh,
part,
really?
There's people
Yeah,
that's been dying in Teslas and stuff. So
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, they
okay.
put that shit in like auto drive and crashing into the back of some. It's terrible. My heart goes out to all those people. But
Wow. I'm not quite there yet. I think if I got one, I still wouldn't quite trust it.
No, I wouldn't
Like
auto drive it either. I wouldn't auto
Yeah.
drive.
Not yet. In the future, probably.
mhm.
Yeah.
Everything is like when it first comes out, you don't want to be the
Yeah. Like who was really out here buying iPhones in like 07? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know nobody that had an iPhone in 07, really.
Yeah. I think like one of my first phones was like a BlackBerry, bro.
Everyone had the BlackBerry, bro.
Yeah, that was really
BBM?
BBM,
Yeah.
bro. Come on, man.
Yeah. That shit was popping.
BBM,
I remember
bro.
everyone had that. I felt mad left out.
Dang, bro. I was one of the last people to get a BlackBerry, bro. And I had like the nice joint too, like the executive joint. My dad had it. He just passed it down to me. And I remember I was like, "Oh, this is lit. I'm back. I'm here." You know what I'm saying? Active. And people were starting to move to iPhone. This was like
Start moving over.
Yeah, everyone started moving over. Everyone was using iMessage and shit. iMessage group chats. I said,
Damn.
I gotta get rid of this phone. Move back to my iPod. This is crazy.
You know, the only bad thing I'll say about those things is like messaging on them was kind of terrible. Like it was so small.
It was.
Oh, the BlackBerry?
Yeah.
Oh man, them joints, it was like a keyboard smacking, bro. Tack, 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 tack. Bro, you had to be quick with that. But you know what prepared me for BBM, to be honest? The OG MSN, bro.
I knew you were gonna say that.
That shit prepared me for BBM because you had the emojis, you could put like the little status and all that kind of stuff, display picture. Bro, I was doing all kinds of stuff.
Yo, let me tell y'all a funny story, man. Let me tell y'all a story about MSN. It's relatable because y'all know him. So Barra, Chris Barra.
Yeah.
Okay.
My brother for life, man. So this was in like 9th grade. He knows the story. He'll know what I'm talking about. Listen to this. So we were on MSN one night, and we had a game the night before or the morning before. We were gonna play each other's middle school game, and so we were just talking. And I was like, "Yo, I'm going to sleep." You know what I'm saying? Because we got a game at like 9 a.m, way out in like John Henderson or something like that, way out in the north end. And he was like, "Bro, it's chill. Like, just stay up a few more hours. Like, let's talk. Let's just hang out. I'll introduce you to some of my friends." So I'm like, "All right, I'll stay up for another hour." This is like at 11. Man had me up to like 3, 4 in the morning, bro. Like just talking nonsense, watching videos. We were like watching the Boondocks. I was mad tired. Woke up at like 7. You know what I'm saying? Went to the game. I was mad. I was like, "Yo, why you do this to me, bro?" He's like, "Yo, like I had to manipulate the competition." Like he basically was like, "Yo, like I'm just trying to get you off," because he was used to it. Apparently he don't sleep like that. So he was just like, "Oh, it's whatever." I was just trying to get you moving crazy. And there's whole lot of other stories with MSN.
Oh, he was fun.
He was fun, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother still, though. But
yeah. No,
they did some other things too. They did some other things too that I won't speak about, man. But they know what they're trying to take my identity and shit. Trying to falsify being me when it wasn't actually me talking. I'll get them back, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, Chaymaine, you can tell I got a lot of revenge, bro, for people that did me.
Yo, you got a good memories, but you have.
Yeah, man.
It's okay. It's a good thing too.
Yo, those are them days, bro.
Bro.
Definitely a throwback.
Dangerous days, man. Yeah, but, hey, we made it out. We made it out in one piece, bro. Thankfully.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We here, bro. We here. Yeah. No, but Adnan fam, I just want to thank you, bro. For taking your time, doing this, coming out for this series here, bro. Man, you provide so much value with your experiences, dog. Yo, you're a dope person for life. Never change. Keep growing, bro. And man, it's all love, bro. All love from over here.
Thank you, man. Bro, this wasn't even nothing. I was just talking with the brothers, man. This is saying nothing for me, man. I can do this every week if needed. It's nothing with me, man. But thank you. Thank you for having me, bro. It's always cool, man. this is self-made, bro. Like this is what our ancestors wanted, you know, for us to be able to put ourselves in opportunities to build our own content, to be our own bosses, right? To start things up from the ground up. So it's definitely much appreciated. And I'm always listening, I'm always watching, I'm always trying to stay tapped into home. And you know, you guys are doing your things respectively, bro. And so there's nothing on my end that I couldn't say back to y'all, you know, that you said to me as well. So it's all love.
Appreciate it, bro.
Respect, man. Respect.
Of course, man. And Chaymaine, when I see you, bro, it's on sight. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It's gonna be love at first, but then it's gonna be on sight. Quite you
When
too.
you
Don't
say
think
you're coming to